platform or what it does, please feel free to put it in the chat. I guess Bobby can see the questions even though I can't, but we'll definitely answer your questions. So there's a lot of components of this website. It does more than one thing, but today we're going to focus solely on the transactions part of the page, right, Bobby? Is that what you wanted to show today, or where did you want to start today?
Yeah. So the first, first.
Oh no, the tracking. You want to do the tracking, right?
Tracking, yeah. So today, what we're going to show you is if you're, if you have real estate assets, it could be just one, or you have some rentals, you have some private money loans, you have notes, you may have some syndications, whatever it is you're tracking every month, whether you paid your mortgage, you paid your insurance, your taxes, your HOA, if you have an LLC associated with the asset, did you pay the LLC dues? Any kind of monetary transaction, you can track it, but there's more to it. So it's more than Excel. And so what I'm going to do now is I will share my desktop here, and where you would go first is on bettercapital.us. Just go to bettercapital.us and you'll see a sign-in page, and you can sign in through either, well, this one is sign in, so I'm gonna actually log out of this so I can show you how to do a full sign in. You can sign in by creating an account over here, or you can use Google single sign-on. A lot of folks that have Gmail will be able to use this. I use Gmail for just about everything. So I'm going to just log into my Better Capital account, and this is what it would look like right here. So this is a brand new, there's no assets, nothing. This is how you would see the dashboard when you log in. And the first thing you would probably do is, I have a rental property in Independence, Missouri. I'm going to just add that to my list here. I'm going to start typing that address, 5 East 39th in Independence. There it is. The system found it. I'm going to click here, and there it is. There's my property. And I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to say, this is a rental. And
so actually, Bobby, just stop right there. Pull down that drop down again. So I just want to highlight the different types of assets. So if you are an investor and you own rental properties, or you're an investor passively invested in someone else's syndication, choosing a different asset type is going to give you different fields to fill in. So you have these different options to be able to track different types of investments. I just wanted to show that before you went too fast.
Very nice. I missed that. I'm so used to doing just the rental, but I forgot about that drop down. So yeah, absolutely. So you can have, even for folks that are wholesalers, you can come in and do this. If it's a fix and flip, you can track it here, syndication notes. Yeah, thank you, Yana. So for this one, and you can also track your primary residence. So the folks that have just one property, you can also track your primary residence. So here we go. In this case, I'm the owner, but you could also be a tenant. You could be the insurance agent. You could be the real estate agent. You could be the CPA for this property. You could be the lender or the banker for this property, or you could be maybe a partner or a spouse on this property. So
the one thing that I want to say before you move on from that you bring up a good point. So obviously in the first drop down, there was a for sale tab. So one of the things that we would, caution is that if you are listing a property for sale on this platform, then you do have to either be the owner or the broker in contract or the wholesaler in direct contract with the seller. So if you're familiar with daisy chains and how that works, or you have, if you don't have equitable interest in the property, then you cannot list it for sale, and we will validate that before it's actually listed on the site. So for buyers, that's validation tool that we use, and for sellers, just be warned that if you're not directly in the property, you don't have equitable interest in the property, then you wouldn't be able to list it for sale. Sorry, Bobby.
No. Very, very valid point. So One of the things that we're building is a trust system with our members. So we're not Craigslist where you can just post anything, and it's almost never validated. We want, if you own the property, and like Yana said, you have equitable interest, you have a listing agreement, before we approve it, we'll reach out to you and ask for some validation, some verification that you, in fact, are the owner of that asset, that property, and so on. So very good. Yeah.
Okay.
In this case, you can enter the tenant's email, but you don't have to. It's optional. But in this case, I'll just enter my address, my email address. Is it self-managed? I'm going to say no. In this case, I do have a property management company, and these are the property management softwares that we integrate with, and we'll dive into that in another session. But we do integrate with most popular property management softwares out there, systems out there. But we are not a property management platform ourselves, but we work and talk to all of them. We are what's called an asset management platform. So we'll come here, and at this point, it's going to ask me some basic questions. So what was the lease? I'm going to say $950. It's monthly, and it's due on the 1st of the month. When does the lease end? I want to say it's going to end in 2021 on February 29th. So that's my lease end date, only because a few days before, at a certain interval before the lease end date, you're going to get a reminder that the lease is due. And this is a reminder. If you want to be reminded about the rent, you can turn it on or you can turn it off. It's a toggle, and I'll show you the reminder module in a little bit. So what was the deposit? You can put it in here. It was one time, and we paid on, I'm going to say it was paid on January 1st of last year. Then what are the operating expenses? The operating expenses are $800. This is a reminder if you want. This is the taxes. In some counties, you have 2 installments. In some other counties, you have 1 installment. But in this case, we're going to say 1 installment, and it was due on, let's say, it's due on December 10th of this year. Do you want a reminder? Yes, I want a reminder. What's the insurance? I'm going to say $650, and it's yearly, and it was due on February 1st. Mortgage, 343. Sorry, 343. What are some of the parameters with the mortgage? What was the principal? 60,000, 4.25, 30-year. Do you want to impound your taxes and insurance? I'm going to say no, because I pay those separately. But this is your expected mortgage every month. There's no HOA, there's no CapEx for now. And I'm going to say 87.5 for the property management monthly. And this is also due on the 1st. Okay. So this is your basic operating expenses. If you don't have the data, it's okay. You don't need to fill it out right all up at once. You can come back later when you have the data and input that data. But there's some fields that are obviously required, but others are not.
So the same goes for a potential wholesaler, right? If you don't have all this data initially, this is the same way that you would upload a deal for sale. You would fill in as much as you can, and there's obviously certain fields that you need to fill in. Let's see, does it have a special ARV box if you choose the wholesale, or it has different fields, right?
Yeah, for wholesaling, when you enter a property as a wholesaler, when you go to submit that property, and I'll show you that in a second, when you go to submit that property, it's going to ask for other fields that a wholesale buyer would be interested in. So you would provide that data. They can look at the deal. They can run the numbers. and they can ask you questions. But
Okay.
yes, that data is relevant for wholesalers. The year built, mainly here, what the system cares about is when was it purchased? In my case, it was purchased in 2014, I want to say January 1st, 2014. The square footage is, if we're pulling public records, sometimes the public records are not correct. I want to say 2000 here. 3-bed, 2-bath, that's correct. 1 story. Again, this is not required, but it's there. And then I'm going to go to the investment detail. I bought this for $61,000. It's worth that much. And then the down payment was $25,000. Let's say, I'm just going off of memory here. Okay, so now we've established the property, like the basic information about the property. Now what we care about is what's going on with the property. Like how is my property performing? And the way you know how your property is performing is based on historical data. We're not really projecting the future here. This is not a deal calculator that projects the future. We're looking at how have I done in the past. So, so what we're going to do is we're going to import some data. Now, you can import data from your property management system or your QuickBooks or your Excel. We give you all the tools to import data, your historical data. Now, if the historical data is incomplete, that's okay. You can go back at your leisure and add that historical data. But what I'm gonna demo you to you today is how you can import data from an Excel spreadsheet, and we actually give you a template. So right here, if you're not sure how to import the data, here's an Excel spreadsheet that you can download to look at what kind of data the system is expecting. In my case, I'm just going to choose a file here, and I'm going to go to QA. And this is my file that I've created. And in a second, it's going to come back and say, okay, I got the data. If there was an error with the data, it would have told you that at this point. But in this case, it's a clean file. So now what I have is all the information about who I paid the mortgage to, who paid me the interest, who did I pay the property management to. Everything about this property is here. Let's say I had there was a transaction that I missed, so I can come in manually and I can say, let's say I paid a plumber $100. I'm going to say, let's say other. I'm going to say plumbing maintenance. It was on. I forgot it was on February 5th, and the vendor was Joe the plumber. Okay, so now I've got that in the system as well. So Joe the plumber is in the system. Now what I can do is I can actually add, if I have pictures, I can actually add some pictures about of the property. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to add maybe a couple of pictures. This one, and I'm going to upload. Let's see what it does. Okay, so let me see that one. Then, okay, here we go. Here's some pictures. Eventually, you'll be able to add video as well. But yeah, you can add a lot of pictures, and we'll get into why pictures are important. But now what I'm going to show you is attachments. So you can actually, let's say you got your tax bill, your insurance, your various, if you had some work done, or you installed a new HVAC system, you've got a PDF of your receipts, all your documentation about the property that you want to store in one place. You can store it here. I'm gonna quickly show you. I'm just gonna go to downloads. I want to pick some random PDFs here. Let me see if I can find a PDF. Okay, here's one. Oh, that's too big. I don't want to get that one. I'll go this one. Okay, so upload this file. So here it is. Now, how do you know what this file is? I'm going to come in and I'm going to add a tag, and I'm going to say 2018 tab, sorry, 2018, 2018 tax Jackson County, and that's it. Okay, I'm gonna save those tags. So now if I do a search, that information is available. I'll just show you real quick one more, just so I can show you how the search works. Let me find another PDF if I can. Here we go. That's too big. Here we go. Upload. This is just another PDF. I'm gonna upload to the system. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another tag. So I want to show you how that would work. But this time I'm gonna say 2019 tax Jackson County. Okay, so I'm gonna save this tag. Now if I do a search for 2018, it's gonna show me only this one. If I do a search for 2019, it's gonna only show me this one. So I can do a search on tax and it'll find all my tax documents. If I do a search on Jackson, it's gonna find all my Jackson County related documents. All right.
I happen to really like that feature.
Yeah, it is a cool feature. But, and by the way, we can also, you can also, let's say you have in your email a document that you wanna, it's sitting in your email, it's probably also sitting in your hard drive somewhere, but you also want it to be stored safely on the cloud. What we do is we create a unique email address for each property, and only the owner of that property, that's the email that's tied to that account, can actually forward that email to this, and that attachment is going to get saved in here. So let's say your insurance agent sent you your policy and it's in a PDF document, or your contractor sent you the invoice for the HVAC system and it's in a PDF, or it's in an attachment. You simply take this email address, and if you click here, it's going to copy it to your clipboard. You simply forward that to your property, and it'll get automatically attached. So a really cool feature. You can add contacts here. So I can add a contact. I can say Yana Epps at yahoo.com, and I can say she's my real estate agent. So I'm going to save it here. So now I have all my agents, all my contacts in here. I can send them a message. But if you come here to the overview, let me look at how did my property do last year. Okay, that's it. I'm going to reload this page. It should have a different equity value. So let me just reload. Okay, here we go. So here's how much equity I have in the property. Here's my cash ROI. Here's my cap rate, my internal rate of return, my net operating income. I can look at it last year. How did I do last year? Here's what it would look like in a graph. So now I have a graphical view of the performance of my property. And as you get more data, the graph is going to look richer and richer. And in fact, in our next version, we're going to start showing you longer graphs. So you can say, show me last 5 years, 3 years, and so on and so forth. But you'll get a really nice picture of how your property is performing over.
Hey, Bobby.
Yeah.
Have you and Ram ever discussed a plan to like maybe incorporate growth and like forecasting performance and things like that on these?
You're very good question. So one of the things people want to know is how is my property going to perform if my appreciation rate is now adjusted. So we're going to add a feature where you can say, okay, projections, and then you can tweak them. You know, in projections, you make some assumptions. So you can make assumptions like, okay, what's my rent increase? What's my appreciation increase? What is that? Is my equity, how is my equity doing in my property? What if I refinance? What is it going to look like? So those features for projections, they're coming. But yes,
Beautiful.
thank you, Yana. The last thing I wanted to show you real quick is on the opportunities page. There's currently, let's say, no opportunities right now, right? No problem. Okay, this is a clean dashboard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I can come in here, and as an owner, as a verified owner, as an agent, a wholesaler, I will come in here and I will click on submit deal. So I will click on submit deal, and I will provide some information about this deal. I'm going to say this is a turnkey rental. It's got great school. Long term and completely rehab. Okay. And let's say the sales price is 150,000, and my LLC name is Bobby's LLC. Rehab estimate, I'm going to say is you may want to do a touch-up work, $1,000, maybe some touch-up paint, but the after repair value is going to be 165. Now, this is more relevant for fix and flippers and wholesalers. Like that's the information that they would want to provide to your buyers. More so, you know, turnkey property means it's already rehabbed, it's already ready to go. So that might not be relevant. Here's all the data that we had entered earlier. It's going to come in here. And I'm just going to say, I'm going to add this property to the system. Now, if I go on opportunities page, it's still not there, because now I, as the admin, will have to go, I'll get notified that somebody has put up a property for sale. Now I will reach out to that person and I will verify them. I will verify that the property is in fact for sale and they are the rightful owner or representative of that property. So on my second screen, I'm actually in the admin module and I'm approving that property right now. So now I'm going to reload. And there it is. Okay, so here's my property. I can dive into the details. And Yana, I wanted to show you this. Like here, you can say, what if I offered 140,000? What would my ROI be? What if I did 15% down payment? What does it do? What if I go with current market rent? You know, I'm probably collecting lower than market rent, but if I go to market rent, what does it do to my ROI? Here's some highlights. Here's some pictures about the property pictures. I think, where is my, well, yeah, we'll actually, that's a bug. So we will actually, you'll be able to see, you'll be able to see more pictures here, but all
so,
the pictures.
Bobby, what about that market rent button? Is that data being collected based on the zip code that you plugged in?
Yeah, it's
For the
coming
same
in from,
property?
yeah,
Nice.
we're pulling that data from public records, and what the public records are saying that for this property, your market rent should be $1,200. Okay, so for
Very
example,
nice.
why is that important? It's important in case the lease is ending soon. You may want to say, okay, to the either to the existing tenant or the future tenant, this is going to be the market rent for that property. But it gives you an idea of where you are compared to the market rent. Maybe it's a vacant property, right? So you want to know what is market rent for that property if it's a vacant property. But here's all your information. Here's your highlights. And what I'm going to do now, real quick, I'll take another 2 minutes. Okay, so this property was listed by Better Capital. I'm going to log out as Better Capital, and I'm going to log back in as somebody else. I'm going to log in as myself, and I'm going to go to the opportunities page, and here it is. And I will be able to message the owner. So here's Better Capital. Hi, I would like to talk about when is a good time to chat. And here we go. So now this message has gone from Bobby to Better Capital. All right, so that's how you would communicate. I'm going to log back in as Better Capital. And if I go to my dashboard here, I look at my chats, I will see, okay, here we go. So somebody, Bobby Sharma, sent an email that they want to talk about this property. So this is where the chat's going to show up. You can talk to your sellers and buyers, but you don't have to give out your private information. They don't need to know your phone number. They don't need to know your email. They're chatting through the system. Now, once you know that they're for real, that they've asked you the right questions, yes, then you can share your email, your phone number at that point. But Yana, that's what we've developed so far. We've got other exciting things coming, and I'm thrilled that Yana is part of this journey. And you know, yeah. By the way, it's free. Okay, so it's completely free. All the data is encrypted. It's secure end to end. We don't know what you own. All we know is you have an account with us, but we don't know anything about your properties. It's all encrypted in our database. So feel, you know, we'd love for you to give it a shot and then send Yana or myself some feedback, good, bad, ugly. If you want to see some features, if you run into any problems, if you need a sample of the file that you need to upload, we'll send you recordings to help you, and we'll help you onboard as well.
So just in summary, so what Bobby demonstrated today was basically a way for you to upload different types of investments that you have and track your asset performance from a single pane of glass on a dashboard. And even in the future, you'll be able to add projections. We didn't really get a lot into the transactions tab, but he did show the ease of being able to take one of your managed assets and move it into a live environment where it could be posted for sale with a click of a button. So it's basically, essentially that's the same way that you would come in and upload a property that you were looking to sell, even if you're not the owner and managing the asset. You would upload it the same way. In a future event, we'll go through how the transactions actually work and take a closer look at that step by step. But if you're a wholesaler out there, one of the benefits of this platform is that if you're working in a market where you haven't really yet developed a full cash buyers list and you need some help with dispositions, or you need somebody to, you need your property or your deal to have more visibility, this is the perfect platform. And we would love for you to upload the deal so that more people looking to purchase off-market deals would be able to, well, not even just off-market, on-market deals. This is a perfect platform for you to put your deal, and there's no cost. So right now we're encouraging people to come sign up for this, try it out. Like Bobby said, work the bugs out, let us know, give us feedback. If there's something that you think we could implement or incorporate, please let us know. We'd love to make that happen and make it a more user-friendly tool for you all. So let us know.
Yep, exactly. And it, like you said, Yana, it's for anybody that has a deal that they believe would benefit from greater exposure, we would like to talk to you, reach out to us, and we want to be your partners on both buyer side and seller side. But we want to give you the tools to share the right data with your buyers. We want you to share the data in a standardized format, in a professional way, with pictures, real numbers. But Yana and myself and a couple other folks, we're working on some new ideas to help you move your deals faster in this environment that we're in. But if do reach out to us. You know where to find us. But
one of the things, I might as well mention it now. One of the things that we're working on that is kind of tied into this platform is the fact that we'll be taking properties from this platform and spotlighting them on a social media platform such as we're doing right now. It's called the Deal of the Week. So what we're doing is partnering up with people to give you like a 15-minute segment where you can talk about all the highlights of your deal, the opportunity inside out. Give us your numbers, give us your pictures, and live viewers will be able to ask you questions. And we're actually going to do our first segment tomorrow with the gentleman who will be highlighting a property here in Oakland, California. So that would be the format, and tomorrow you get a peek at what that looks like. But typically we would be starting with the properties that are on this platform, or if you just want to try it out, reach out to us in our inboxes and we can get your deal on the platform as well. So
yeah, exactly. So it's built for our members, our investors, our Facebook, our Meetup, our friends that are in the real estate business. Whether you own 0, you own 1, you're looking to buy your first one, you're looking for a discount on a property, you want to reach a wider audience. That's what this community is for. We want to help you do more transactions, more good transactions. So thank you, Yana.
yeah, thank you, Bobby. Thanks for the demo. Like I said, we'll come back and we'll do page by page so we can kind of show all the features that it has to offer. I think it's a really great tool, and we'll set something up for next week. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.